Welcome to presentation on ISO 9000 series of quality system presented by PRAKASH MATHUR, Senior Lecturer, Mechanical Engineering Department, Government Polytechnic College, Jodhpur. The list of contents is Introduction, ISO 9000 Family of Standards, History of ISO 9000, Quality Management Principles, ISO 9001 of 2015 year, ISO 19011 as released in 2011 year, certification procedure and benefits of ISO 9001 2015. Introduction. ISO, as called as International Organization for Standardization, has published around 20,000 to 27 international standards up to the record up to the 5th February 2018. ISO 9000 is one among the most popular standards of ISO. ISO 9000 is a series of quality management system standards. It provides guidance and tools for companies and organizations. ISO 9000 also ensure that their products and services consistently meet customers' requirement. ISO 9000 is for constant improvement in quality. As regards ISO 9000 versus ISO 9001, while ISO 9000 is a series family of standards, on the other hand, ISO 9001 is a standard within the family. The ISO 9000 family of standards also contains an individual standard named ISO 9000. On the other hand, ISO 9001 is the only standard within the ISO 9000 family to which organizations can certify. ISO 9000 family of standards. ISO 9000 is a series of quality management system standards which include the following, namely ISO 9000 2015. This specifies the fundamentals and vocabulary used in all these ISO 9000 standards. ISO 9001 of 2015. This is the requirement standards that provide directions on how to achieve quality requirements, meet the significant regulatory requirements, improve satisfaction for all stakeholders, maybe customer and shareholders, etc. Have a method of identifying and implementing the improvements. ISO 9004 of year 2009. This provides guidelines for maintaining the success of quality management systems through evaluation and performance improvement. ISO 19011 of year 2011. This sets for guidance for any organization and auditing management system, which may be of internal type or external type. The internal audits are used to confirm and improve the effectiveness of a quality management system. On the other hand, external audits are generally the audits for suppliers, but can also be done by any interested third party. ISO 9000 is the only auditable standard for which third-party certification and auditing organizations provide independent confirmation that the requirements of the standards are met. Older ISO 9000 quality standards we discussed, like ISO 9000 of released in 1994, originally had three quality management system models. Number one, ISO 9001 of 1994, model for quality assurance in design, development, production, installation and servicing. This was for companies and organizations whose activities include the creation of new products. ISO 9002 for quality assurance in production, installation and servicing. It's basically the same material as ISO 9001 but without covering the creation of new products. ISO 9003 model for quality assurance in final inspection. Test covered only the final inspection of finished product, which no concern for how the product was produced. All of these were combined in ISO 9001-2000, which was updated to ISO 9001-2008 and is now ISO 9001-2015, with the major difference is risk-based thinking. History of ISO 9000, originally published in 1987 by the International Organization of Standardization. Revised version was also declared in 1994 and underwent major revision in 2000 with the concept of process management, again revised in year 2008, which re-narrated ISO 9001 release of 2000 with few clarification to the existing requirement of ISO 9001 of year 2000. Current version of ISO 9000 and ISO 9001 were published in September 2015. Quality management principles. The ISO 9000 of year 2015 and ISO 9001 of year 2015 standards are based on 7 quality management principles that senior management can apply for organizational improvement. Number 1, customer focus. 2nd, leadership. 3rd, engagement of people. 4th, process approach. 5, improvement. 6, evidence-based decision making. 7, relationship management. Number 1, customer focus statement. The primary focus of quality management is to meet customer requirements and to strive to exceed customer expectations. This principle includes to recognize the needs of existing and future customers, aligning organizational objective with customer needs and expectations, meet customer requirements, assess customer satisfaction, handle customer relationships. Second principle, leadership. The statement is the leaders at all levels establish unity of purpose and direction as well as create conditions in which people are engaged in achieving the organization's quality objectives. This principle includes establish a vision and direction for the organization, set demanding goals, model organizational values, establish trust, train and empower employees, identify employee contributions. Third principle, engagement of people. The statement is competent, empowered and engaged people at all levels throughout the organization are essential to enhance its capability to create and deliver values. The principle concentrates on ensure that people's skills are used and valued, make people responsible, enable participation in continual improvement, evaluate individual performance, facilitate learning and sharing of knowledge, enable open discussions of problems and constraints. The fourth principle is process approach. Statement given is consider and consistent and predictable results are achieved more effectively and efficiently when activities are understood and managed as interrelated process that function as a coherent system. This principle includes supervise activities as processes, assess the capability of activities, identify linkage between activities, prioritize improvement opportunities, organize resource effectively. The fifth principle is improvement, and the statement reads as successful organizations have an ongoing focus on improvement. This principle includes develop organizational performance and capabilities, align advanced activities, empower people to make improvements, measure improvement consistently, celebrate the improvements. The sixth principle, evidence-based decision making. The statement is decisions based on the analysis and evaluation of data and information are more likely to produce desired results. This principle includes guarantee of accessibility of accurate and consistent data, use suitable method to analyze data, make decisions based on analysis, balance data analysis with practical experience. The seventh and last principle is the relationship management. The statement reads as, for sustained success, an organization manages its relationships with interested parties such as suppliers. This principle includes identify and select suppliers to manage costs, optimize resources, and create value. Establish relationships considering both the short and long term. Share experience, resources, information, and plans with partners. Collaborate on improvement and development activities. Recognize supplier success. Focusing on ISO 9001 released in 2015, ISO 9001 is the requirement standard of the ISO 9000 family of standards. It outlines the guidelines that an organization must follow in order to implement the maintain a quality management system. The latest version of ISO 9001 standards was introduced in the month of September 2015, hence it is referred to as ISO 9001 2015. Changes from ISO 9001 released in 2008 and ISO 9001 released in 2015 are: high level structure of 10 clauses is implemented now. All new standards released by ISO will have this high level structure. There is a greater emphasis on the measurement of inputs and processes and their outputs. Examples of input would be labor, raw materials, data, specifications, etc. The output must be checked that it is of good quality. The emphasis on risk-based thinking, which effectively replaces preventive actions as it is no longer mentioned. The context of the organization is used and includes all interested parties whose expectations and requirements must be considered in organizations, products and services. The management representative is no longer required and quality is now the responsibility of the entire organization. The interested party is now extended beyond customers to include suppliers, employees, shareholders, the community, etc. The term document and records have been replaced with the term documented information. Documented information is defined as the information that the organization has to control and maintain. The information can therefore be in any format from paper to electronic. There is also no longer a need for a quality manual. How is the ISO 9001 2015 standards structured? ISO 9000 issued in year 2015 quality management systems requirement is a document of approximately 30 pages which is available from the National Standards Organization in each country. The purpose of the quality objective is to determine the conformity of the requirements, customers and organizations. This is for facilitate effective deployment and improve the quality management system. ISO 9000 released of year 2015, the most recent version of the standard is made up of number of different sections, each containing of the requirements involved in different aspects of a quality management system. Initially 1 and 2 are just like scope and definitions, while clause 3rd Introduction and scope of the standard. Number 4, context of the organization. Number 4, leadership. Number 6, planning. Number 7, support. Number 8, operations. Number 9, performance evaluation. And number 10, improvement. Essentially, the layout of the standard is similar to the previous ISO 9001-2008 standard in that it follows the plan, do, check, act cycle in a process-based approach, but is now further encouraging this to have risk-based thinking. The purpose of the quality objective is to determine the conformity of the requirements for customer and organization, facilitate effective employment, and improve the quality management system. Before the certification body can issue or renew a certificate, the auditor must be certified that the company is being assessed has implemented the requirements of Section 4 to 10. Section 1 and 3 are not directly audited against, but because they provide context and definitions for the rest of the standards, not that of the organization, their contents must be taken into account. The standard no longer specifies that the organization shall issue the maintain documented procedure, but ISO 9001-2015 requires the organization to document any other procedure required for the effective operation. The standard also requires the organization to issue and communicate a documented quality policy, a quality management system, scope and quality objectives. The standard no longer requires compliant organization to issue a formal quality manual. The standard does not require retention of numerous records as specified throughout the standard. New for the 2015 release is a requirement for an organization to assess risks and opportunities and to determine internal and external issues relevant to its purpose and strategic direction. The organization must demonstrate how the standards requirements are being met, while the external auditor's role is to determine the quality management system's effectiveness. More detailed interpretation and implementation examples are often sought by organizations seeking more information in what can be a very technical data area. ISO 19011 issued in 2011 guidelines for auditing management system. ISO 9011 provides guidelines for auditing management system, including the principle of auditing, managing an auditing program and conducting management system audits, guidance on the evaluation of competence of individuals involved in the audit process, including the person managing for auditing program, auditors and audit teams. ISO 19011 is applicable to all organizations that need to conduct internal and external audits of management systems or manage an audit program. The application of ISO 19011 to other types of audit is possible, provided that special consideration is given to the specific competence needed. Two types of auditing are required to become registered to these standards: external auditing, auditing by an external certification body; internal audit, auditing by internal staff trained for the process. It is considered healthier for internal auditors to audit outside their usual management line so as to bring a degree of independence to their judgments. The aim is a continual process of review and statement to verify that the system is working as it is supposed to find out where it can improve, to correct or to prevent problems identified. Regarding certification, International Organization of Standards does not certify organizations itself. Numerous certificate bodies exist which audit organizations and upon success issue ISO 9001 compliance certificates. Although commonly referred to as ISO 9000 certification, the actual standard on which an organization's quality management system can be certified is ISO 9001-2015. Many countries have formed accreditation bodies to to authorize the certification bodies. Both the accreditation bodies and certification bodies charge fees for their services. Certification bodies themselves operate under another quality standards ISO/IEC 17021, while accreditation bodies operate under ISO 9000/IEC 17011. IEC stands here for International Electrotechnical Commission. An organization applying for ISO 9001 certification is audited based on the extensive sample of the sites, functions, products, services, and processes. The auditor presents a list of problems defined as non-conformities, observations, or opportunities for improvement to management. If there are no major non-conformities, the certification body will issue a certificate. Where major non-conformities are identified, the organization will present an improvement plan to the certification body. Once the certification body is satisfied that the organization has carried out sufficient corrective action, it will issue a certificate. An ISO 9001 certificate is not a one and for all award, but must be renewed at regular interval, recommended by the certification body, usually once every 3 years. There are no grades of competence with ISO 9001, means either a company is to be certified or it is not. In this respect, ISO 9001 certification contrasts with measurement-based quality systems. Benefits of ISO 9001:2015. Number 1. By assessing their context, organization can define who is affected by their work and what they expect. This enables clearly stated business objectives and the identification of new business opportunities. Second, organization can identify and address the risk associated with their organization. Thirdly, by putting customers first, organization can make sure they consistently meet customer needs and enhance customer satisfaction. This can lead to more repeat custom, new clients, and increase business for the organizations. Fourth, organizations work in a more efficient way as all their processes are aligned and understood by everyone. This increases productivity and efficiency, bringing internal costs down. Fifthly, organizations will meet necessary statutory and regulatory requirements. Sixth advantage, organizations can expand into new markets as some sectors and clients require ISO 9001 before doing business. Effectiveness of ISO. The effectiveness of ISO system being implemented depends on a number of factors, the most significant of which are: number 1, commitment of senior management to monitor, control, and improve quality. Organization that implement an ISO system without this desire and commitment often take the cheapest route to get a certificate on the wall and ignore problems area uncovered in the audits. Second, how well the ISO system integrates into current business practices. Many organizations that implement ISO try to make their system fit into a cookie cutter quality manual instead of creating a manual that documents existing practices or only adds new processes to meet the ISO standards when necessary. Next, how well the auditor finds the communicates area of improvement. While ISO auditor may not provide consulting to the client they audit, there is the potential for auditors to point out areas of improvement. Many auditors simply rely on submitting reports that indicate compliance or non-compliance with the appropriate section of the standard. However, so most executives, this is like speaking a foreign language. Auditors that can clearly identify and communicate areas of improvement in language and terms executive management understands facilitate action of improvement initiatives by the companies they audit. When management does not understand why they were non-compliant and the business implication associated with non-compliance, they simply ignore and report and focus on what they do understand. How well the ISO system focuses on improving the customer experience. The broadest definition of quality is whatever the customer perceives good quality to be. This means that a company does not necessarily have to make a product that never fails. Some customers have a higher tolerance for product failures if they always receive shipments on time or have a positive experience in some other dimension of customer service. An ISO system should take into account all areas of the customer experience and the industry expectations and seek to improve them on a continual basis. This means taking into account all processes that deal with the three stakeholders: customers, suppliers, and organization. Only they can a company sustain improvements in the customer experience. Thank you.